Okay, here we.
I wonder. I just put zeros on for him now, but I wonder if it's kind of an easy class where I'm sure that next semester and then half the semester already done.
Yeah.
Yeah, may as well stick it out. I'm getting married in end of December, and with Christmas and moving and remodeling a house, like I'm still going strong.
I just had cancer surgery and I'm still here.
Yeah. Patrick
I broke my
has to
finger
deal
last
with
week.
drunks.
I what?
And my wife broke my finger last week.
Was it your middle one?
This one.
Your index?
Yeah. We were wrestling, and I was like, "You ain't strong." Blah blah blah. Well,
she's strong, huh?
Strong. She proved it. I said a lot of bad words when I broke, though.
All right, I'm gonna try something real quick. On my phone.
All right, you tried it. That didn't work out.
Attempt failed.
Attempt failed. Oh man. All right. Questions.
Okay. So it says.
There.
Yeah. It says for the CVP, describe the key elements. Customer value proposition. I had security and speed were some key elements.
Yeah.
To the web pages.
I think the big thing's the security, and then the speed would be second. You're right. I don't know. I can't think of much else.
Anyone?
Bueller.
Well, that was pretty much.
Okay. So on CVP, should they keep or start doing?
Well, they need to keep doing it. They need to keep finding ways to prevent the attacks.
I put pushing security in the freemium model.
Yeah, because wasn't this one where they said they liked the attacks because they were able to learn from them and they were able to beef it up.
Yeah. Patrick, did you read it? Is he still there?
No, he's gone.
Oh. Is there anything else for keep or start doing?
He's back.
Oh.
I mean, for their customer value prop, I don't think so.
Okay. How about organizational implication? They didn't really have a structured model. It seemed like they were kind of all over the place.
Yeah,
they just basically let people no titles, and you just do a job. And when your job's too big, they hire someone else that's new.
They didn't even hire the new people when their job became too big. That's
and they didn't have
no problem.
They didn't have titles for anybody.
Yeah, there was just absolutely no structure. I didn't like it.
Yeah, but is that good or bad? I mean, when you think about like that other company.
When you're small, it's fine, but when you start getting bigger, it's bad.
Well, that's why some of them left, because they didn't know what their role was and they were tired of doing things.
Well, they did that meeting on Friday nights for 2 hours, It's stupid.
That's when people want to get out and start enjoying their weekend.
Right.
So I guess.
So what's the point of this case, really? I mean, give me like I read it, but like, is it just how to make employees happy to work in the company? Is that really the benefit?
What I took from it is they were doing good as a company, but they were starting to lose some of their key employees. And then they started saying, this guy was working 24/7 for a week and then was out for, had a week off and then 24/7. And, it was just the quality of life for some of those guys was horrible. So I think it was just to see, how how their employee status was or whatever. I watched that video. There's a bunch of young guys there.
Yeah, there are.
Organizational implications. I mean, the big thing is as they continue to grow and build in on servers and scale their model, they weren't hiring or. That
Okay,
Patrick.
go to, is TOM Tech and Operations?
What is it now?
Is it?
But for organizational structure, I mean, I think the big thing is they've got to start growing in their staffing to meet the demand for the growing subscribers and the growing implications from their program, from their product.
Mm-hmm.
And that's their problem. They're not growing and they're not structured right. They're not growing their staffing and they're not structuring their staffing correctly. So I would say that's organizational implications.
Okay, let's do GTM. Go to market, describe the key elements. I put they have the premium model.
The freemium.
Yeah,
Premium.
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 And premium.
And then the small business, and then like the big business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they use freemium on the small business, right? And then they get big business from, people that say, "Oh, hey, I use this site for my hobby site," and now
unlimited bandwidth for the other guys, that type of stuff. I don't even know what unlimited bandwidth is.
And it also said that they used it in Turkey for like a escort service. I was like,
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, I saw that. And then they also used it for one of the largest hacker, companies. They backed them and kept them safe.
Right. Yeah. Anonymous.
Yeah.
Was it anonymous?
What are some of the other key elements? I just put the freemium model. They weren't really pushing anything. They had the free pro business and enterprise.
Now, at the time we were reading this, the enterprise wasn't really active. I mean, it became a part of it a little later. But yeah, I think they need to beef up their sales and start pushing the premium and enterprise models a little bit farther to try to gain more revenue.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got some spelling errors. Okay.
You guys want to do Tuesday night or Wednesday night for the next case?
Actually, depending on what time we meet Wednesday, I'm good either night. I got a youth temple trip Wednesday night, but I'll be home. Around 9:30 my time, which would be 6:30, 7 o'clock your time, or Pacific.
That's fine.
So either one's fine with me.
Yeah, I'm good with whatever.
I just can't tomorrow night.
I'd prefer Tuesday because I got one of my classes has a few assignments due Wednesday night too.
Yeah. All right, Tuesday it is.
All right.
Tuesday at 8:45, which is 10:45 your time, Brian.
10:45.
7:40 and 7:45 Pacificers.
Pacificers.
All right.
What was I just gonna say? Oh, do we have one case or two?
We just have one.
Ponder improve.
And we got to ponder improve on this case.
Oh, okay.
I think it was this case. What was it?
We only have 4 cases left with this one included.
Yay.
That's it, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll be glad.
All right, so what do we want for keep or start doing for the GTM?
They need to start adding more salespeople to go push the enterprise and premium models.
Yeah.
I put product managers with set job time.
We got a ton of engineers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sales people. Those people that push business and enterprise models, product managers with set job titles. What else?
I think they. I mean, it kind of goes along with the management or the set job titles, but I think they need to, other than Friday afternoon, have a set meeting with everybody and work out a hierarchy chart or a org chart or something.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
Except the main founder, I can't think of his name offhand, Matthew Prince. It said he was not very approachable. You know, people didn't like to approach him. They went to the co-founder lady.
Whatever her name was, not gonna work here anymore.
So.
Okay. For some reason my spacing on my thing is weird. Okay, TOM, describe key elements. I put their premium. I just talked about their business model.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that stands for target operating model, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the big thing would be to really push the enterprise and start trying to get that, because I think that was a $3,000 a year boost, you know, for every enterprise deal that they sold.
Okay, keep or start doing TOM. I had keep the freemium.
Yeah.
Again, I think they need to target the
big one.
enterprise, the big one.
Mm-hmm.
So they need to start really pushing the enterprise edition.
That's the one they make the most money on, right?
Yeah, it was $3,000 a year in revenue, where the premium's only $240.
It seemed like they want to upscale too, but not really hire more people.
Yeah, I don't get the way they wanted to work their people to death. I mean, it was almost like if you didn't have a life, you were perfect for it. I mean, seriously. You know, if you're in a crappy marriage and you want to stay away from your spouse, you just get a job at Cloudflare.
Maybe that's what I should have done instead of getting divorced.
I don't know.
Now you're getting married.
Yeah, hey.
Yes.
I can't believe you're doing it again.
I know. I found a good one this time.
That's good.
Somebody who's actually happy. Okay, what do we want for TOM organizational implication? Well, didn't we already?
It's kind of the same thing as the go-to-market, really. I mean, it's just more structure. They need more structure in their organization.
Yeah.
They need
like a HR department, really. And they need like
there you go.
Yeah.
They need someone that will look out for the employees.
A hiring manager.
Yeah, yeah. Have you guys seen The Great Indoors? Have you guys watched any of that?
No.
It's a new sitcom. This case kind of reminds me of that. Just a bunch of millennials and then one Gen X guy that comes in and doesn't understand them at all. And he's always going to the HR department for not treating them, you know, with kid gloves because they're so fragile. You know, you can't discipline them or anything. It's funny.
Do they even know how to communicate or talk to each other?
They do, but it's not that bad, but it's pretty funny.
Oh.
I just like to watch Impractical Jokers. That's my show. Okay, CFF describe key elements.
Cash flow from financing.
Is it cash flow formula or cash flow financing?
Same. I mean, the cash flow formula is what cash flow from financing is.
Okay. What do we want to put there?
Be right back.
Well, I mean, the only way they're getting cash flow right now is from their premium.
Mm-hmm.
Soon to be enterprise. I think. I mean, did it talk much about getting venture capitalist growth or anything from these guys?
I don't remember.
I don't remember anything about any of that.
I thought I read some.
If they were looking for money.
Series B funding, they had some, didn't they? Hold on, let me look.
So, for that one, they need to add a sales and marketing team for the keeper start doing.
Yeah, add a sales and marketing team is a good one.
Seems like the answers are kind of the same.
Yeah, it's all.
It's freaking cold out there tonight.
Organizational implications. Did they have like financial? What are they called? Like an accountant or whatever?
It didn't talk about any. It said that there was I think Prince was kind of that guy.
So do you think having like an accountant or
Back.
did you steal someone's tips?
Happens occasionally. You guys are still on cash flow financing?
Is this second line?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're waiting for you to give us some answers, Patrick.
You guys are funny. Poor guys at work.
How about hire someone with a financial background?
I like it.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, the organizational implication is they have to be a better structure. They got to structure themselves a little bit.
Okay.
What?
Doing this class project right now. Listening to a thing.
Oh.
I'm gonna start pretending like I'm the head Applebee's honcho and yelling at you like your job's on the line. You have one more chance, Patrick.
Where's the numbers at?
Why are your numbers so crappy, you retard? Oh, that's not politically a correct word, sorry.
Have your people push desserts. Push desserts.
Okay.
Make sure you do the 3 for $9.99. You gotta sell more of the mini molten lava cakes.
That's right.
Okay, why are they losing engineers?
Because it's a crappy place to work.
Oh my
I
god!
don't think
so
it's
many
that it's
more.
a bad. I don't think it's a crappy place to work. I think it's that they haven't set in. Most people, whether they think they do or not, like a little bit of structure, and so they don't have any structure in, and nobody
Especially
knows exactly
engineers.
what their job is.
Well, that
I mean,
and like a lot of other software companies are offering like awesome perks all the time, you know. So it's like, why would they want to work there?
you know, when people are working, like I said, I mean, the one guy was complaining he worked basically 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you know, because he was on call for a week at a time and was getting calls about every 6 minutes.
I didn't know if having them in shifts would be a better idea.
Well, the problem they had is they lost one of the guys. So, I mean, they were down to only 2 guys, and, you know, they were trying to find the third to do that, but they never could find that third person.
They're making 150 grand a year. I mean, come on. Like,
No, they're not making 150 grand.
I thought that's what it said the salary was.
That's what the cost per employee was. They were probably only making about 70 to 80 grand. I say only, which I would like to make that, but I mean, but when you figure their salaries and the taxes and the and you know, your office space and rent and all that stuff goes into that cost as well.
Well, I thought they were making 150 grand.
No.
Oh, we're not making Mario money yet then.
Got to make at least that to live in San Diego.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what this barbecue. I can't wait to see what this barbecue is going to bring.
Okay,
you do have to make pretty good money out here. But you know what? Everything's relative. It's all relative, I tell you.
Are you guys ready for the next question?
Yes.
Yeah.
Working as a group, take a closer look at Cloudflare's cash flow formula. Suppose we have to hire more engineers in direct proportion to how we scale. So, Brian, can you pull up the...
Yeah, I got your spreadsheet right here.
I didn't know if you wanted to like copy and paste it and then work with different numbers or...
Well, those are the correct numbers. I'm just trying to figure out how they want it to be scaled. I mean, so you figure for every, so like right here for everybody, every extra person you add, it's going to cost you $150,000. They're already at a $3.2 million loss, but the fixed costs aren't going to go up. That's going to stay at 5.25.
Wasn't that 3.2 million loss if they hired more people, or is that where they're at currently?
That's where they're at currently.
So they add more, then they've got to have the more revenue.
Yeah. So for every one person, it's going to add 150,000.
Mm-hmm.
Which is that what you've got in as your fixed cost? Yeah, B 12 times B 13. Thought fixed costs were things like rent and everything, because as you add more people, if you don't have to get more buildings and stuff, that 150 is actually going to come down.
Yeah, but if they hire more people, maybe they have to get more building space.
Yeah, but if they're just working cloud, that kind of stuff, I mean, I don't know, I didn't see how big their office was. I mean, if you look at the video, their office looks plenty big enough to add people.
Well, it seemed like in that instructional video, it had everything in there.
So I guess So what if we do 100,000 subscribers at the 4%
Are you copying? I kind of worked on that. I copied and pasted it and then put in a million subscribers at a conversion rate of 8%. Just played around with it.
You did an 8%?
Yeah. But I needed to change the formulas so they're on the correct cells, you know. Because I think we're supposed to Seahawks win. Because it says play with the numbers for good, better, and best.
All right, so this first column right here is your where we're at now. So, I mean, if you change your conversion rate to 8%, that helps. The other thing to look at is the Enterprise Edition. You know, say you get 10 enterprises. That doesn't really do much for you. All right, so let's go with 5% conversion rate. But let's say no. And if they add they would have to add quite a few. So 200 enterprise accounts and 10% conversion rate from their 500,000 subscribers would put them at break even. But to be able to do that, they're going to have to add engineers.
Well, do we need to add like managers, like number of managers and number? Because it has like number of full-time engineers. What if we had number of full-time managers and put that in there?
What is it? Okay.
Like had 9 managers.
It's just asking for how many engineers in direct proportion to how we scale. So you figure, I don't know. Where did it talk about all that junk at?
Uh-oh. I got to plug in.
Oh, sorry, you got that.
What are you trying to find?
I'm just trying to figure out what it says, how many, if it's said somewhere like in customer acquisition. So there. I don't know.
Kind of a lot of questions on this case.
So, if you take it and look at it like that, if they increase, what's 15% at 500,000?
What is 500? 15% of 500,000.
That's 75,000 subscriptions. So basically, if they go from about 2,000 prescriptions.
So am I doing this under the suppose we have to hire more engineers in direct proportion to how we scale question?
Well, I've got this. I'll email it out to everybody, and you can just use this. All right. So basically, they're at 20,000 subscribers. At 700, and if they scale up to where they have basically 3 times that, it's almost 4 times, 3.5 times. And they add about 200 enterprise subscriptions. Let's see. I want to try to get as close to break even as possible. Well, there we go. We just won't do anything with enterprise. So at their current model, if they wanted to add up to 75,000 customers,
Hold on.
they would have to add 15 engineers to be at a break even.
The current model, they would have how many engineers?
They'd have to add 15 more. Well, yeah, 15 engineers to scale it to 75,000 employees and be at a break even profit loss.
Sorry. My thing's going crazy. Okay, so with current model, they'd have to add 15 more engineers to scale. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Scale, okay. To 75,000?
Yeah, if they added if they went from 20,000 to 75,000, subscribers, they would have to, at the current model, they would have to add 15 engineers to keep up, or to get a break-even profit loss.
Okay.
You're along the way.
What's that?
But I can't even see it on the phone. It's like so small. I can't see the numbers you're doing.
Okay, so it says play at the number for good, better, and best. How long will it take to become profitable?
Is that better, Patrick?
Yeah, it is better. It's still hard to see on the phone.
How long will it take? Like physical time?
How long will it take to become profitable?
Well, they'd have to go from 20 to 75,000 plus sales. So again, it depends on how quick they.
I think the next question is what's their benefit to scaling fast or something like that. Obviously, that's their benefit. Hey, ve con tu mamá. Está abajo.
So on how long it will take to become profitable, so to go from 20,000 to 70,000 in sales.
I mean, if we just made like I don't know if there's a timeline, but let's just say it was like 6 months.
How long have they been to get to 20,000?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Did it say?
I think it was like
From like 2000, like 90 or 2009 to 2012 or something.
yeah, but now that you're in full swing, it's not like you're a startup, like that kind of startup. I mean, it's hard to tell without a sales force, but when you add the sales force, and then I think that it could probably scale fast. And then that next question is just that, like, what's its benefit of scaling fast? And kind of answers the thing above. Like, the only way you're going to get to how many subscribers in 6 months is by,
Are you on the right questions, Mario? Because I don't see that question. I said after how long it take to become profitable. It says use an actual spreadsheet and turn it in.
No, the number 5 says how does Cloudflare management want to get big fast, and what are the benefits that Cloudflare sees from scale. So that's what I mean by that.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a subjective thing. It just depends on how, like Mario said, how much they want to really add to their sales force, and what option they want to use to blanket email everybody and ask them to go to the premium model. It was one of the things they said they were going to do. So that's the big thing.
Which that alone, personally, I don't think will actually go anywhere. But I mean, it's going to take a lot from somebody paying $250, being mid-sized business, to $3,000. You gotta have scaled your business that you're okay with $3,000. But with the sales team, I think in addition to adding new customers, obviously that's going to work.
But these guys are sellers, they're not people that sell. So
Yeah.
I think adding a sales would be huge. Even most of their product has been word of mouth marketing, which is good.
Yeah.
I think a sales team would definitely complement that nicely.
So I would say 1 year.
All right.
I would say 1 year to scale to become profitable. By adding more engineers and sales.
Doing cases, it makes me feel like I should go get a loan and start a business. I mean, it sounds so easy.
Okay, why does Cloudflare management want to get big fast?
I think that first bullet point is basically why. I mean, because the way their product, it doesn't cost them any more than what they're paying to protect 10 people is what it does to protect 1,000 people, because they're just going in and taking the threats. So the more people they have that use their product, one, the more protection they can get with the shared synergies between the different companies. But two, I'm trying to think of how to say it, but basically it doesn't cost them any more to protect one person as it does 50 people. Other than once they get big enough, they have to add extra servers, but they're not even using their own servers. You know, they just have to outsource to a couple more servers.
I thought that they did have some of their own servers.
I thought they outsourced like to 17 different places. Maybe they did own some of them.
Okay.
It says, by virtue of inserting a globally distributed network of servers and software between customers' websites and their sites, visitors. They did have a lot of their own servers in this one, didn't they? Because they were using the solid state drives.
Right. I thought that. Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, I think so. Their own. What I remember. Right.
Okay. Starting to get all these stupid cases jumbled up.
Yeah. Hey, what benefits does Cloudflare receive from scale?
Their costs are less. As they scale, I want to say it's their fixed costs. Well, their fixed costs will stay the same, but their revenue should grow, if that makes sense.
As they scale their fixed costs, their revenue should grow?
Well, as they scale, as they get bigger, they're not spending as much on the product, and so their fixed costs should be reduced per revenue dollar, if that makes. So the more revenue they make, they don't have to spend as much in fixed costs to scale to it. So, like I was saying, it's $150,000 per employee. The more they scale, the less that cost is going to be, because
their fixed cost is the same.
Yeah, because their fixed costs, so their rent's going to go down because they're able to spread that through more people. Their electricity is going to go down, and all that. So instead of that 150, it could be 145,000 per employee. Because it's not going to cost them anymore for any of that stuff. So their fixed costs are going to go down as their revenue increases, as long as they can scale within the confines that they've already got.
Okay.
If you can interpret that.
Yes, I do. Does Cloudflare have economics of scale? Example, marginal costs decrease with the increase in customers. Explain your answer.
Economies of scale.
Yeah.
That means that that they'll make more money the more customers they have. So
yeah, that's kind of what I was just explaining.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So yes, they do.
I think they also have the next question. I think they do have network effects, because the more customers that use the service, the better they're going to get at writing algorithms and finding IP addresses that are potentially threatening, and they can that better for all the customers. I would say they also have good network effects as well.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Well, didn't it talk about they were able to like customer share or do some kind of share with some of the other customers and websites where when they brought in a customer, they made deals and arrangements with them to be able to use some of the stuff that they've already come up with, and they could use some of theirs.
That part.
What's that?
I don't remember.
Okay, does Cloudflare have high switching costs? Will it be costly or painful for customers to switch to competitor if there were such a competitor out there? Explain your answer.
It is a high switching cost. I think pretty easy.
Did you say no or yes?
I'd say no. Customers, or that there is not a high switching cost because they don't have equipment at site. Basically, a customer signs up and they Cloudflare takes care of everything. So if there's another company out there that does the same thing, then customer signs up and that new company takes care of everything. The customer doesn't have anything to do with it on their end other than working service run better. Their site run better. Is that what you guys?
Yeah.
There wasn't like you pay this one-time fee, right? That they would lose. It was just per month.
Right.
Okay. What other reasons might Cloudflare management have for wanting to get big fast?
Well, it looks better on if you're trying to get more, that you have more customers, more revenue.
Well,
Take bigger before someone else does it.
It did have a little excerpt in there that they wanted to go for another round of investing, and the bigger they got, the more opportunity they would have to get investors to get on board.
Right.
I did see Patrick here. It says that Cloudflare outsourced the physical installation, operation, and maintenance of its servers to data center operators around the world, and then they paid fees based largely on space required.
Well, that's good to know.
So with that, that again, I'm sure the more space they buy, the better deal they get from those data centers.
Exactly.
So that's another reason, back up at the economy of scales. The more data that they use, the cheaper they can probably buy that space on the servers.
What reasons might you suggest for not growing so fast?
Well, they don't have a good structure in place for their employees.
That was my number one thing.
Number one right there.
They're losing some good employees, and they're having trouble bringing on employees because they were telling that one guy we're trying to bring somebody on, but that was a few months back, and they still hadn't found anybody to fill the role. So you grow too fast, you can't handle if you can't handle it, you're going to fail.
Okay, discuss each of the recent resignations. For each one, list the reasons why they left. Then ask what would have to change for that person to have stayed. Oh, geez.
Wow. Wow.
What was the first name?
Here, I'll go.
We'll go right to it.
First name was David David Conrad. No, Dale Kiefling.
Dale
Kiefling.
Is it D-E-L-L or D-A-L-E?
D-A-L-E.
How do you spell last name?
Kiefling.
Okay. Why did he?
He was the one that was on call basically 24/7, and he said his pager was going off on average of every 8 minutes.
Pager.
That's And he was one that they said they were trying to get people.
Okay. What would have had to change for that person to have stayed?
They
Maybe
would have had to
listened.
have hired more people to take some of that pressure off him. Like you were saying, like hire 3 people to do a shift rotation or something.
He would have not had a baby.
Yeah, that would have been a good one for him too.
Yeah, just don't have any kids.
Yeah.
In the middle of it all.
Like Brian said, no life.
Yeah.
Well, okay, what was the next guy?
David
David
Conrad.
Conrad.
Okay, and he because
No organization.
Organization. Nobody to report to.
Yeah, his big one was structure. He didn't like that there was no structure.
Yeah, that's his reason.
Lack of Cloudflare's organizational structure and HR processes.
And he wanted supervision. Like he personally wanted supervision. Like he wanted to be managed.
Well, yeah, he wanted somebody that could be a go-between, because there was no go-between between like the CEO and the engineers. It was just kind of nobody would get anything done because there was nobody to push it.
Right.
He also didn't think he was being very well utilized.
What would have kept him? Some organization, obviously, some management.
Organization, some go-between management.
Mm-hmm.
got it. What's the next one?
David Zakur.
Spelling.
Cakur.
Reason he left.
He left because too many hours.
He said he had some personal issues.
Not a good family life.
Not a good. You're kind of cutting out, Patrick.
So not a good family life.
Yeah, he had some family issues that he had to work out. They also hired him without really a place to put him. So again, no structure. He didn't really have a role to fill, and it just wore on him. He wasn't getting satisfaction, he said. Working long hours, but didn't get anything from it. And his personal issue was he had a long commute, and so he couldn't get home in time to see his kids.
Yeah. All right. What could have changed his decision?
I think
better family life structure.
Yeah, yeah. He needed to get rid of his wife and kids.
Yeah, and more vacation time and a jet to work.
Well, he was one of them that really opposed that 5 o'clock meeting because he couldn't get home till late. So I think
maybe changing the meeting time.
I think changing the meeting time, given he needed some more structure with. He wasn't feeling satisfied, so he needed some direction on what he needed to do to put his talents to use.
Okie dokie. Is it worth it to make those changes to keep the people who left?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's always easier to keep people than to hire and train new.
Always.
And we learned that here. Almost. Okay.
What will happen to the other employees who work there if your changes are implemented?
Nothing. I think they'd all benefit from it.
We'll have more structure.
I would say there's a couple people that may not like the structure and may or may not roll with those changes, but I think it would benefit more than it would not benefit.
Yeah, I think the organization part is at some point expected, and I think with proper explanation of that change, most people would understand it than what they're living through right now.
Okay. Why do people work at Cloudflare?
I think they enjoy the challenge, and I think that it's a rewarding company that's doing something different, changing the internet way to work businesses.
And it's a good startup that's showing progress. I think it's a lot of good experience for a lot of it.
Right.
Okay, it was enjoy the challenge and enjoyable company to work with?
Yeah.
What keeps them motivated?
I think just the challenge.
I think these guys work off challenge and growth.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Did they join the companies so they could be told what to do, have process and structure, or to change the internet?
I think it's changed the internet the way it was working.
Yeah, change the internet. All right, we're down to the final question.
Woohoo!
Number 7.
Cloudflare implement more process and structure, hire a VP of HR, and start using titles. Yes or yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Slow down growth? No.
No.
Discuss what will happen to the company under your recommendations. It will get better. What will happen to the culture and motivation to the current employees? Well, we just said what will happen.
Well, it's going to be a little bit of a culture shock to them at first, but I think ultimately once they get used to it, I think it'll add to a little bit of motivation because they'll know exactly what they're supposed to work on. They'll have a little bit more skin in the game and be able to figure that out.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on.
What will happen to the cost structure and therefore profitability of the company? Well, that we did in the numbers.
It's going to add some cost to it, so it will reduce profitability initially.
Yeah, but it'll also save costs of hiring, finding new replacements.
True. I think initially it's gonna make the company a little bit less profitable in the short term, but like Patrick said, in the long term, it'll produce benefits. So their profitability will start getting better.
Okay.
Awesome.
That's kind of brutal.
Can you stop recording? Have it still be on the Hangouts?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So,
Do you have a story for us?
yeah. Hold on. Just let me know when you stop recording.
Okay.